Here we have the August Tackle Club Freshwater Bass and Yellas box. No surface lures this month, but we've got plenty of goodies in here for you. I'm going to start off with this one from TT Lures, the Vortex Spinnerbait. Something like this is absolutely crucial to your tackle box if you're out there chasing bass and yellas. These things are phenomenal for weed edges, flicking into structure. You can even use them to, fish deep water as well when they're schooling up. You can fish them in all sorts of things. I like to use these in structure, so if I'm paddling around a dam in my kayak or up a river in my boat or vice versa, just flicking the edges, flicking some of that structure and using it as like a search bait to look for where these fish are holding up. If you find them more schooling up in deeper water, original riverbeds, drop-offs, things like that, then we've got a multitude of options here. Another one here from TT Lures, the Flashpoint Tail Spinner, and this is a beauty. One of the first tail spinners I actually ever used many years ago, and still holding true to this day. I've got the 20 gram here, so it's going to get down nice and deep, so I can just work this vertically or on the cast and retrieve and slow roll this straight through that school of fish. It's going to be perfect. That little tail is going to be going. Now, I also like to fish with these over top of weed beds as well. So you may have like a weed bed with a couple of feet of water above it. You can just burn it back over top of that water, and you can often get bass and yellas coming up out of that weed and grabbing onto your lure. Two more options here, both very similar, both also quite different. So from TT Lures again, we've got the Switchblade. This is the 1/8. This is going to have quite a slow sink, but with this one, you've got three different ways to fish it. So you got with the holes on the back, you can change where its head is angled. So if you fish this on the cast and retrieve, either have it on the center hole or the most forward hole. If you have it on the most forward hole, that's going to drop the nose down, giving you the most vibration on the retrieve. If you're working this vertically, so you're sitting on top of some schooled fish, you can bring this clip on his back to the most forward hole. That's going to lift his nose up and give you the most vibration on the vertical retrieve, or if you're fishing this vertically. Now, if you're chopping and changing and you want something more versatile, I tend to just use mine most of the time on the middle hole. That way you're still going to get okay vibration on the retrieve and fairly good vibration still on vertical as well. So good all rounder there. If you're looking for a bigger sort of vibration lure to do a bit more scouting around some of the deeper waters, then I've got here from Fishcraft the Dirty Doctor sinking vibe. So I've fished with these a few times in some of my local impoundments and had some ripper days on them. Especially if you find like a nice rock wall. I've been working this along the rock wall. If you got the original riverbed where the fish kind of hug that drop off, you can roll it straight through them. You can fish with this vertically as well. You can chuck this into the snags. If you've got some timber in your rivers or dams, you can chuck it in there, but obviously it is going to be prone to snagging with the trebles underneath it. That's why I tend to opt back for the spinnerbait for that sort of fishing. And last but not least, we've got a little soft plastic jig head combo here. So from Demiki, we've got the Tachi Shad and the 2.7 inch. So it's like a little grub style body with a paddle tail on the back, and these are awesome. I like to fish with these often, just casting into the weed edges and then just ripping them straight out into a slow to medium retrieve. Now I've also rigged these up with the TT Demons series jig heads. Got the 1/4 ounce and the 2.0. This will match up to these plastics perfectly. Now if those fish aren't sitting in those weed edges or structured edges and they are sitting deeper, like the other lures, you can go and fish with these deeper as well. The 1/4 ounce is going to take a little bit of time to get down there, obviously depending on how deep you're fishing. So you could even jump up to a heavier jig head. These will still work fine, you're just going to have to work them a little bit slower if you're fishing them in the deeper water. That's it for the Bass and Yellas box this month. If you want to check it out or any of the others in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au, pick a box that's right for you, and welcome to the club.